starting in the 2024-2025 season, which is next season if you didn't work that out, the Champions League will undergo really just a completely new format, and there's going to be quite a few changes which the public haven't really taken to yet. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes about and if people kind of like adapt to it and people actually start liking it. So with these changes, the Champions League is going to be just really completely changed. The actual format right now is going to be more or less unrecognisable in the next couple of seasons. So just jumping straight into these changes and how the Champions League will change is, the first big one is that the group stage will go from 32 teams all the way up to 36 teams, and this will give obviously 4 more teams a chance to play in the Withe Champions League, which also then gives them a chance to make more money as well, because playing in the Champions League, even if you're just in the group stage, you get a sizable amount of money if you're kind of one of those teams that comes from a league that isn't as well known or isn't well funded as much. So 4 of those teams will be able to have an increase in that, and instead of the usual 8 groups of 4, this has been scrapped and we will now have just a completely new league format. So all 36 teams will be in one league, which for me personally is an interesting concept. And what will happen here is the clubs will play 8 games in this group stage, and they will no longer play 3 opponents home and away. They will instead play 4 teams, and 4 of these will be home and 4 of these will be away. So the matches, obviously they'll have to be calculated in some way, and the way this will be done is each team will be put into one of 4 pots. So there'll be 4 pots of teams, and then each team will play 2 from each pot, and in these pots they'll have 1 home and then 1 away. Obviously each team they play will be different. They won't play 2 teams of the same. So 1 home, 1 away, all of them will be different teams. And the qualification to the Champions League, this will continue to be open, and this will also be based off teams' position in the previous domestic season. So that thing will basically stay the same. However, the additional 4 slots will be allocated in a bit of a different way, and you might have to bear with me because this can get a bit, I would say, complicated. So the first slot, it says, this is straight off the Champions League website, this place will go to the club ranked 3rd in the championship of the association in 5th position in the access list, which is determined by the UEFA Association Club Coefficient Ranking. So what I get from that is that this will somehow be based off the actual UEFA Coefficient Ranking, which is a ranking of all the club teams in Europe. So I get it that it's based off that. And then slot 2, it says this place will be awarded to a domestic champion by extending from 4 to 5 the number of clubs qualifying via the Champions Path of the competition's qualifying process, which will consist of 4 qualifying rounds. So I think this one means that this slot will be given to a domestic champion from kind of another league, except that isn't a part of, I think it's the Big 5 leagues, and this will come through a sort of qualifying round, so a bit like the qualifying round they have now, but it will be a domestic champion that will get through that. And slots 3 and 4 will be done in the same way. So for this one, it says these places will go to the associations with the best collective performance by their clubs in the previous season. These 2 associations will each earn 1 automatic place in the league phase. So I'm not entirely sure about how that one is meant to happen. So yeah, that is really the qualification of it sorted, and that is how the league phase will work. So now to the knockout format. The top 8 teams from the actual league will automatically qualify to the round of 16. So if you finish in the top 8, you are straight through to the next round. Then the teams from 9th to 24th will have a 2-leg knockout phase to secure their place in the round of 16. So the first 8 in the league automatically qualify. Then the teams ranked from 9 to 24th will have like a knockout phase. It's kind of like a round of 32, but for only 16 teams to get to the round of 16. I've probably just complicated that more than I should. So yeah, then teams from 25th to 36th will be eliminated, and the big thing here is there is no path here from the Champions League to the Europa League. So obviously now they are doing the whole thing where, well, they're scrapping the whole thing where you can go from the Champions League to the Europa League, which I do find quite interesting. So pairings of the knockout phase will be partly based off the league ranking. It doesn't really go into all too much detail on that. So I'm guessing one of the top 8 teams will face one of like the 9 to 24 teams that have qualified. I'm guessing that's how that will work. And then from the round of 16 onwards, it keeps the same format. So obviously the quarterfinal and semi-final will be a 2-leg one, and they'll have a draw for that. So I do find this quite interesting, and this really reminds me of the NBA and the NFL formats that are used, which football have wanted to use for quite a while, to be honest. However, no offence to football fans, but they don't really like change, so I don't think straight away this is clearly not going to be liked by football fans. However, there is a chance that this could grow on the fans. I doubt it, because as soon as they see that this is like an NFL, NBA format, they're probably just going to instantly hate it anyway. But yeah, I do think that this has a chance to work. I think it's more 50-50. It might work, it might not. I wouldn't be surprised if they did go back to the old format after a few years, but the one thing I would say to football fans is just give it a chance. I mean, it's not going to be like I doubt it's going to be a 2-3 year thing. They're probably going to try this for a while to see if it grows on the fans. Yeah, so all I say is just give it a chance, and you might end up liking it. You know, what I would say is just don't hate it, because it's something different and because it's similar to how really America do their kind of sports leagues. So yeah, let me know what you think about this new Champions League format down in the comments. If you like the video, leave a like, and if you like this video and you go and watch some of the other videos and you like them, subscribe so you stay up to date with all the videos that I post and everything else that I post. So yeah, thank you for listening to the video, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.